Okay. Go ahead.
This year, lots of corporate media started calling black folks moderates as a block, which was a very strange phenomenon because it's well known, and studies have shown, that black Americans are the most left leaning constituency in the United States. Noted black demographer and political scientist Michael Dawson, for example, describes the bulk of black folks as most clearly resembling politically Swedish social democrats. And he says a whole lot of them are even more radical than that. So we have basically a leftist, politically oriented black population that, because they voted for Hillary Clinton rather than for Bernie Sanders, is now described by corporate media as being moderates. Well, to understand how that happens, you have to understand how the duopoly political system specifically impacts on black people. Throughout American history, there has always been a white man's party. That is, the duopoly system says there will be two parties and no others for any long period of time. Well, the racial situation in the United States says one of those parties will be a party of white supremacy. And what that means is that black folks and other people of color have only one home for most of them, and that is in the Democratic Party. And the reason for voting, since one is segregated by necessity into the Democratic Party, the reason for voting is to defeat the white man's party. Folks then reason that since defeating the white man's party, now it's the Republicans, it used to be the Democrats a long time ago, since that is the highest priority, one should in the primaries support the Democratic, in this era, candidate who is most likely to make the best run against the Republicans. And that almost always turns out to be the richest candidate, the candidate with the most money and the most media, and that's the corporate candidate. And so what we have is a history of black folks during presidential elections not siding with the more left-leaning primary candidates, but with the right-leaning primary candidates, like Hillary Clinton. The only way that we can fix this situation is to get rid of the duopoly. The duopoly has a double trap for black people. Duopolies trap everyone in that binary system. But for black people, it's a double trap that keeps them in one political party and pressures them into gravitating to the right-hand side of even that one political party.
Thank you. That's very good.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, a question that occurs to me. So you're saying that black Americans are opposing their own interests by siding with Hillary Clinton?
No, they think that they're promoting their most important interest, which is to defeat the white man's party.
Okay.
That is the overarching.
And that is an explicit. That's something they're conscious of, or it's more of an intuitive.
What they're conscious of is he can't win. We need to back whoever can win to beat nowadays the Republican.
So do you think?
And so it's not a consideration of he agrees with me. You don't even go into that kind of conversation.
Yes.
Who can beat
Yeah.
the enemy?
So would you say that the primary focus is to defeat the white man's party,
Sure.
as you say, or is it to advocate for policies and programs that do benefit
Well,
black people?
once you're in the halls and then you're in Congress, you do that. But that's within the context of already being trapped in the Democratic Party, and this obtains chiefly in presidential elections, and it's not just this election. The pattern is there. It even applied to Obama, despite 99.9% of black folks wanting to have, in principle, a black president. Barack Obama had a minority of elected officials' support, and only about half of rank and file black folks' support in 2008, until he won the Iowa primary. The Iowa primary proved that he could get white votes. That was what was significant about it. White people will vote for him. He can win. And it was almost overnight that rank and file, that is black populists in terms of polls, went overwhelmingly for Obama. And most of the elected officials reluctantly had to follow on, even though many of them made deals with Hillary already. But that shows how strong it is that even with this basic imperative to have a black man in the White House for all kinds of reasons, you even don't do that unless you're assured that the white man's candidate is going to be beaten, that this black candidate can actually win.
Sounds like
You see what I'm saying?
Sounds like an argument against identity politics, or at least against limiting oneself.
I don't know what
to-
people mean by identity politics.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that phrase, that term is thrown around a lot. What do you mean?
I mean, prioritizing one's group identity or notion of group identity over policies when
Well-
it comes to making a decision in elections.
Black unity, the imperative to black unity, worked quite well, or folks thought it worked quite well for most of black history. I mean, here we are, a 10, 11, or 12% minority in a hostile sea of white folks. For all that time, unlike anywhere else in the diaspora, you have to valorize unity in order to have any chance of protecting yourself. But it becomes one's Achilles heel after the end of apartheid, after those dragons have been slain, and especially after our enemies start understanding how we act and can manipulate us because they know that we want to put black folks in position.
Yeah.
So they can put Bill Clinton's mentee, Barack Obama, in the White House.
What did you think of Obama's speech last night?
I don't know. We were somewhere else. I didn't even watch it. I try not to watch it as much as I can. So if I have to do a piece on it, I have to watch it. But it gives me more longevity, I think, to not watch it because it damages it.
I have a question. So,
Oh, we're still doing this?
Yeah.
yeah, but
Oh, I
we
didn't
can.
know that. I wasn't. No, I'm sorry, because I would have made more sense. I
Oh,
thought we
no,
were
no,
just
no.
talking.
No,
Well,
you're-
I mean, in a
you're-
sense, we kind of
you're-
are.
you're good. But you're
Because you said
good.
2 minutes, so therefore
No,
I turned
no.
off and I thought
Honestly,
we were just
everything was
talking.
fine.
No, you're good.
No,
You're
I
good.
apologize. I wouldn't
We
use up
can-
you guys' film.
no.
So
We can add it.
Yeah.
So my question to you, I guess like what are your feelings, because the Clintons do have a lot of, I think, support from African American and even like black diaspora. Well, I don't know, but like the African American community, like Bill Clinton's offices in Harlem, a lot of times they're like championed by the community. But do you think that, I guess, their policies always encompass that?
the Clintons were not the black favorites in 1992. The Clintons only became popular among black folks in 1994, I guess, when Newt Gingrich did his contract with America and won both houses of Congress. And it appeared to folks, I mean, I remember this well, it appeared to people that there was nothing standing between Newt Gingrich and his Confederate barbarian hordes, and us, but the president, of course, he had the houses of Congress. And that's when folks started thinking of Clinton as their defender. He had not been popular among black people before, when he became the defender. As soon as that happened, of course, that gave him the license to do in welfare and everything else. Because by that time we were in thrall of him. He saved us from the newt.
We're seeing this same dynamic play out.
And then
in
you
the
get this
present.
mythology, and then people don't know why why Clinton is supposedly tight with blacks. It's just, it's known.
Yeah, it just
They
happens.
just, he's tight with the blacks. Yeah, and the blacks say, yes, we're tight with him. And everybody believes it, but it's not based upon anything.
Yeah.
But they do know how to go to churches, and that butters up preachers, and preachers are influential people. So he knows that much. I hate it when the enemy gets to know so much about you, they can press all your little buttons.
Yeah. Any other remarks?
Oh, that's right, it's still on. I forgot about that.
No, you're good. This is it's actually a more ideal interview.
Remarks about what?
You've given us a lot of your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for being interested in me.
I
Oh, of
I like
course.
your show.